On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry. The economy has seen a 3-point dip in recent weeks, begging the question, are we on the brink of World War III? Madison Reyes joins us in the studio to discuss U.S. strategy and chat about her thoughts on the current economic state.
Thank you, Spencer. According to reports from moron.com, we are indeed seeing a change in cabin pressure. Thank you.
And that's the news.
I want to be a weather girl.
I think you could do it. I wanted to be a reporter for such a long time. And so in some ways, I feel like this scratches the itch because we're reporting.
Totally. My degree is in radio, TV, and film.
And my degree is in...
In what?
Rehabilitation, baby.
Okay, that's a good degree.
Got it the hard way. My degree is in what?
The streets.
The school of hard knocks, just like every other loser from your hometown on their Facebook. Okay, we've been up to a lot. Okay, we were at Supercross this past weekend, and that was just a great race.
So fun.
So fun. Perfect weather. We're talking 80 degrees. We're talking Madison's wearing pants.
No,
jeans.
Not pants. I'm wearing jeans, and I haven't worn jeans in years, honey, and I fit into them again.
She was just strutting. You think you've seen someone walk in jeans before? You should have seen this. You should have seen this. She was strutting.
Oh, and I was looking at other girls' jeans. Remember? I was like, I like those jeans. And you were like, oh, come on. Now you're going to be a jeans girl?
Well, yeah, because you're like, I'm wearing jeans tonight for the first time in years. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, let's fucking go put those jeans on. Give me a spin. I just want to spin you round and round. No, but we were walking. And then you're like, oh, check out her jeans. And I said, oh, come on. Here we go.
Give it up. And then he caught me taking pictures of my legs for my sisters. It's a proud day.
You know what? I love it because if you can't be proud of yourself, then who's gonna be?
I did start to lose consciousness and had to unbutton them while we were sitting, but I was in them.
It was that helmet of nachos we ate.
I know.
Really sent us both of us over the edge.
Good.
But it was a great night.
Wait, really quick.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a little bit obituary centric at Supercross.
Oh my God, yes.
Because, they announce the players, the riders in the beginning, and they ride around.
They do their sighting lap, yeah.
Yeah. And one of the guys brought out the Ghostbusters mobile, which is... It's an ambulance / hearse. And it was so cool.
It was cool. I think they were doing a collab. I think Ghostbusters was one of the main sponsors for the race, but it was sick.
Spence, I've got to say. Guess what I was listening to this week?
What? Obituary?
Cult Leader.
Oh, close second.
Well, I mean, I love all your episodes, but you've been putting out some bangers lately.
Oh, shit.
Okay, and you covered Natalia Grace, and I remember when you covered her before.
Months ago. That was right before everything really broke. So I did my episode then. There's actually two. So there's the one that came out this week, and then next week there's part 2, and it is wild. So I'm excited for you to hear that one.
That whole story is sad and just insane.
The story is insane. I've been covering a few wild ones lately. There was that one, and then Twin Flames was another one recently, and The Love Has Won.
Wild. I feel
like
that has a little obituary in it because they mummified her really fucking well. She was blue.
Sure.
But
we're all a little blue sometimes. Well, thanks for listening to me. You were also listening to me the other night. We were on FaceTime with our friend Chris, and I was reading you guys my journal from 5th grade.
Oh my God. Would you read it?
I feel like it needs to be a special, We got to
Okay.
bring it to a live show or something
It
because
is the funniest shit I have ever heard.
that's wild.
I mean, you haven't changed since being 9 or 10 years old. Like the shit, I feel like you would still write this way today. But
Manic.
Geoffs, he was in love with girls. Mm-hmm. And I think your best friend who was a boy. But you wrote about him quite a bit.
Yeah, I did.
It was just like pretty tumultuous, kind of the relationships you had with girls. It was like 1 minute, it was like,
I'm with one.
love her. She's got beautiful blue eyes. And then the next entry, you were like, Dear Journal, fuck that bitch.
So crazy.
And a ton of ice skating with your grandma.
Oh yeah, we can't give it all away.
Okay, sorry.
There's that's gonna be worth something one day. Mark my words. No, but it's just so wild because I had this journal that years ago. Well, I mean, obviously that's from fucking 20-something years ago, unfortunately. But I had hid it in like the shed at my parents' house. And not too long ago, my sister, I think, is the one that found it hidden in there. And I was like, please read it. Like, please FaceTime me and read it right now. And it's just, yeah, it's incredible. So we'll have to save that for a special day. I have to find a way to like incorporate that into our live shows because I want to explain that to a room of people.
You know what? Next time I go to my parents, I'm going to look and see if I have any journal entries. Because I know I do. And when one of my sisters, she moved to Texas. When I was like maybe 9 or 10. Yeah. She moved to Houston. You know how little kids like process trauma differently? Like she was like my everything, And so my mom mailed to her this little book that I wrote when I was like 9 or 10. And it was about a girl named Jennifer, which is one of my sister's names, how Jennifer died.
Oh.
And it was me going to a funeral, putting flowers there for Jennifer.
And that's the sister who moved to Texas. That's Daw.
Yeah.
Jennifer's Daw.
But why the fuck would my mom mail it to her? Like, I would be like, okay, we're not going to do that. It's going to make her feel bad.
Either she wanted to send a message or she was just a little aloof.
I mean, yeah, my mom was a little aloof and just kind of kept it too real.
I love her. As some of you guys have probably seen on our Instagram or TikTok page, we've been dipping our toe into the video world and we're getting a lot of questions about it. We're dipping our toe. Just let us get comfortable. We do plan on recording the full episodes, but we've just been kind of recording it and then pulling clips because it's a big change for us. Neither of us are like, put me on video, put me on.
Yeah, we're not like, put us in front of the camera, and it is a whole new thing because podcasting feels really intimate and like we can sit here and just talk and we can be in sweats and whatever. So we're dipping our toe in.
Yeah.
But I think it's going well.
Yeah, we're having fun. We just kind of put a camera there and we're just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
So I saw someone comment, they were like, why do I always picture you guys sitting across from each other? And it's because we normally do sit across from each other, but we've been sitting side by side because it's just easier to do it that way.
We can't have a fucking 2-camera system here. We are just starting out, okay?
Yeah, just give us a minute. We don't even know how to do one thing.
We barely know how to do TikTok. Oh, I saw someone comment actually on TikTok because we posted that little clip too. And they were like, and they're still going to say they don't know how to use TikTok. And I'm like, because we don't.
We know how to upload, but we don't know how to do like all the fucking text overlays and things that people do. We're figuring it out.
We are.
We're
committed.
We are committed. We got to do it.
We do. We absolutely do.
We have to. Otherwise, we have to figure out another way to spread the word about obituary. So we'll either have to get into some sort of scandal.
That's true. Some drama.
Start some controversy.
Yeah.
Stage a fight between us.
Ooh, if you guys see us fighting, then you'll know.
You'll know it's not real. I don't think we could ever fight.
No.
Okay, all right. God, they fucking talk so much.
I know.
Let's get into it. What's going on?
You know what? I have a listener email that I'll read shortly, but I also have an update on a couple episodes ago. I talked about that new execution method that they were going to try in Alabama?
Yes.
Well, they did it.
Okay, I think I saw something about this in the news, but I didn't read the full article. What's going on with that? Did it work? Did they do it?
It did, and I read this on the Alabama Reflector. It says Kenneth Eugene Smith executed by nitrogen gas for 1988 murder for hire scheme. And they go into detail about it. I just want to read a couple paragraphs from here. It says, the state of Alabama Thursday executed Kenneth. The execution was the first ever carried out with nitrogen gas. It began at 7:56 p.m., according to the Alabama Attorney General's office. Smith was pronounced dead at 8:25 p.m. Smith, 58, made a final statement through a mask, which muffled his words. Tonight, Alabama caused humanity to take a step backwards, Smith said. I leave with love, peace, and light. I love all of you. Thank you for supporting me. So those were his last words. But then it goes on to say media witnesses, including a reporter from Alabama Reflector, saw him dressed in his prison uniform, but covered in a white sheet up to his chest. Smith lay in the gurney with a slight incline, his arms extended out. He was strapped down in two places, one strap around his stomach and another around his upper chest. After the death warrant was read and Reverend Jeff Hood, Smith's spiritual advisor, performed last rites, a staff member closed a vent on the mask, which began to flow of nitrogen. Smith convulsed for 2 minutes with 7 minutes of heavy breathing as he took large breaths.
So was he like suffocating basically?
Mm-hmm. John Hamm, commissioner of the Alabama Department of Corrections, said it appeared that Smith was holding his breath as long as he could. That was all expected, and in the side effects that we have seen or researched on nitrogen hypoxia, he said, nothing was out of the ordinary from what we were experiencing. So I don't know. I guess it worked. He's, dead, but it seemed like a long process.
Shit.
I know. So I don't know if they'll keep rolling that out.
Scary.
But I don't really know how, lethal injection, how long it takes.
We should know that.
I feel like we did an episode on it. I just can't remember.
But anything's better than the boats.
Anything's better than the Blood Eagle.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. Gnarly. You'd have to be a real asshole to get the Blood Eagle.
Definitely.
Let me tell you that. And speaking of, I've got some assholes for us. Well, maybe assholes. We'll see. We'll be the judges. We're holding the gavels, okay?
Okay.
This first one says, am I the asshole for wanting to be named on my mom's obituary?
Okay.
My mom, 74, died last Thursday. She gave birth to 4 children and raised 3 grandchildren since they were babies. I am the eldest of those grandchildren. I've called her mom since as long as I can remember. I didn't know that she didn't give birth to me until I was 8 years old, and my biological mother literally showed up on our doorstep and said, I'm your mom. Obviously, this was all very confusing for me, but that woman left and did not contribute to raising us in any kind of way. My mom did absolutely everything any other mom would do. I got punished, I got taken to school, she was always there for us. There's so much to our story. I am 25, her eldest son is 58. Not sure of his actual age, older than 54 though, for perspective. I asked my aunt, her daughter, if we could be named as children under the survived by column. The answer was no, because we are biologically her grandchildren and no formal adoption was in place.
What?
I asked my poppy, my mom's husband, who also raised us, and he doesn't understand why it's even an issue. However, sadly, his opinion is seeming to hold no weight. I just want our names to come after theirs. Is that wrong? I don't feel like we should be a part of the 12 unnamed children. Also, I want to make it a point that I took care of my mom in her final years when no one else could. Sadly, her condition worsened where it wasn't safe for me to take care of her alone. Also, my puppy currently lives with me and my younger brother. We take care of him and have been for the past 3 years. He will be with us until he passes. He is 89 years old. I think I might be the asshole because although I'm not her biological child, I do want to be named as a child in her obituary. So basically this person wants to know if they're the asshole for wanting to be included. It's like, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Your fucking brother is the asshole.
Your brother, uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guarantee that your mom would want that. Your grandma mom would want that.
100%.
Crazy.
This one says, am I the asshole for not going to my ex-mother-in-law's funeral?
Okay.
My 39, ex-husband 39, and I were married for 12 years and together for 17 years. Our divorce devastated me. My ex wanted the divorce. After having some troubles, he left me for another woman. He remarried that woman and has a child with her now. It's been 6 years since our divorce, and I have since moved on and found forgiveness. I live in a different state now where I've created a whole new life outside of my previous marriage where I'm very happy, but I am still single and I do not have children. I found out that my ex-mother-in-law passed away, and now I have to cope with the idea of going to the funeral because she was my mother-in-law for technically 17 years. I did love her very much, but I don't know if I can bear to see my ex and his new family. I can barely withstand seeing photos of them together as it still creates deep pain and resentment for me despite having moved on. I choose not to follow my ex or his family members on social media so that I don't have to be reminded about my ex's new family, and it's helped me tremendously. I do somewhat keep in touch with him and his siblings on occasion, so there's no ill feelings, and I know they would welcome me with open arms if I did choose to go to the funeral. In fact, they may be expecting me to go. Am I the asshole if I choose not to go to my ex-mother-in-law's funeral because I don't want to see my ex with his new family?
I don't think so. I think you have to protect your peace as much as you can. And
yeah,
it doesn't mean that you didn't love her. I mean, you know, you and I are very much with funerals. Like, we're kind of sticklers. Like, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. But there are some situations like this where
I don't blame her. Yeah. If it's going to like mentally set you back like that, then I wouldn't. And you know what I would do is I would send like a floral arrangement or something to the family.
Yeah.
And just be like, you know, my deepest sympathies.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Totally.
But
you can still let them know that you're thinking of her, you're mourning her.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So no assholes today.
No assholes today.
Okay, I like that.
A rarity. I feel like
know.
lately, I feel like we've had a lot of assholes.
We have. Well, I'm up first this week, but before we hear your side bitch, I have an email that caught my attention because the subject said, "Isn't it ironic, don't you think?"
Okay.
Okay, it says, "Good morning, Jeff and Geoff, Spencer and Madison. I am listening to the podcast where Madison is talking about ironic deaths and the man who was anti-seatbelt and died. Do you remember that story?"
Yes, of course.
"Many years ago, I worked with a guy who was riding with his girlfriend. He didn't have his seatbelt on. The girlfriend had an accident, and my coworker flew out of the window. The truck went bed over front and landed on his fucking head.
Shit.
He was taken to the emergency room and they reconstructed his skull out of titanium. He had a few small scars, but was at work 6 weeks later.
Damn.
I asked if he would be wearing his seatbelt now, and he said that a telephone pole went through the windshield and would have killed him if he hadn't been thrown from the vehicle. So no, he would not be wearing his seatbelt.
Jesus.
Fast forward a year and a half, I'm in the kitchen cooking dinner when I hear a news article that his coworker had died in a car accident where he flew through the sunroof of his new girlfriend's vehicle and hit a sign in front of a church. His funeral was standing room only. His coffin had a thin veil over it due to the damage, but it was a final destination moment as if the first accident wasn't enough. The second is what did him in. Like death was saying, bitch, get over here. You are going my way."
God.
Isn't that insane?
Insane and ironic. How strange.
Strange. It's strange that the first instance, maybe wearing a seatbelt or not wearing a seatbelt did save him, but it seems like the second didn't save him because he went through the sunroof.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't escape death.
And who knows whether you should wear a seatbelt or not.
I think you probably should.
No, okay, you know what? My dad's always was like, yeah, most car accidents are going to happen within 5 miles of the home.
Yeah.
So every time that I'm like pulling out of my driveway or something, I always put my seatbelt on. Or like, you know, sometimes you'll be like almost at your house or something, and then you're like, oh.
You take it off?
Yeah, but then I'm like,
yeah.
no, because it could happen right now.
Anytime I've gotten into a car accident, it has been within like 5 to 10 miles.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Ironic.
Very ironic.
Very ironic. Okay, you are up first this week, and I do have a side bitch, and it says, this is for Carolyn Peshalunas,
Okay.
and it says, this is the first line, meatloaf in heaven?
Ooh.
Question mark, question mark.
Wait, we went to Trader Joe's this week together,
Uh-huh.
and I was checking out their meatloaf pretty fucking hard.
Well, Carolyn would have loved it. The 90-year-old found out when she passed on May 1st, 2019 from pneumonia. So that's literally the first line is just meatloaf in heaven? She found out. Survived by daughters Carolyn Miller of Bellevue and Kathy Peshaluna of Seattle. 4 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, 2 great-great-grandchildren, 1 brother, and numerous relatives and friends. She was preceded in death by her daughter Nancy from Seattle, grandson Jason, and parents Earl and Hazel. She was formerly married to George Peshalunas and briefly to Clint Stacy of the pop group The Ink Spots.
Okay.
Carolyn was a ski wear designer who traveled the world. After retiring, she bought a church across from the MVPO to open the Blue Owl, fulfilling a cherished life dream to serve up her delectable edibles. A staunch Republican, she started the nation's first rushrooms there and loved Donald Trump. She lived till 90 to see what he'd do next. Raised in the South, Carolyn despised the evils, injustice, and ignorance of racism. Racial slurs were never uttered in her household nor her children's. Her family adorned her new home at Serenity Home Care in Bellevue with blue and white treasures, a sweet, familiar nest to spend her last year, with Fox News on the TV almost 24/7. Staff greeted her each morning with a great big smile and, "Good morning, my beauty." In lieu of flowers, donations may be sent to Carolyn Joy Miller to fund airfare for out-of-state family to attend an October memorial gathering.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
And that's what I thought was cool. Well, I liked the beginning part about the the meatloaf. That was what drew me to it. I think she had an interesting life. You know, we're not watching the same news network maybe, but I thought it was cool though that they asked for donations for out-of-state family. I thought that was like a good way to do that if you know.
And those out-of-state people have no excuse then.
Oh, yeah. They're like,
fuck.
We got the donations, baby. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll hear what had you spinning in your coffin. We'll be right back. And we're back. What had you spinning in your coffin this week, Madison?
Geoffs, I was very happy in my coffin this week.
Ooh.
Move over, Disneyland. I have a new happiest place on earth.
Oh, tell me all about it.
It's the Merriest Cemetery in Romania, also known as the happiest cemetery on earth.
Hell yeah.
This cemetery has the coolest story. I'm so excited about this. But when I was writing this, I was like, when I think of Romania, I automatically think of vampires. And obviously, I know that's kind of ignorant, but I think about Count Dracula, who lived in a castle in Transylvania.
Okay.
Transylvania is not super far from the village of Sapanta, which is where the Mary Cemetery is located. Now, Geoffs, I have to warn you, I had to do a lot of Romanian translation for this episode, so I don't know how to correctly say Sapanta, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I watched videos, everything. I couldn't find it, so just cut me some slack on that one. But this cemetery is also listed as one of the 7 wonders of Romania, along with the Bran Castle, which is where most of the Bram Stoker's Dracula was shot.
Okay.
So you know it's going to be good. So why is the Mary Cemetery the happiest cemetery on earth?
You tell us.
Well, for starters, it's absolutely beautiful. All of the almost 2,000 tombstones are tall, hand-carved wood with wood crosses on top of them, and they're all painted in these fun, bright colors with traditional designs all over them.
Oh, cool. I want to see pictures.
This is what they all look like. It's just like super bright. It honestly looks like
kind of like quilts or something. They're cool. Like mosaic art.
The whole thing kind of looks like a Wes Anderson movie or something. Like it's very pretty.
Almost something Cuban about it a little bit.
Maybe the bright colors. I don't know. It looks happy. Okay. All of the tombstones are primarily painted in this blue that's called Sapatana blue, which is named after the village. And the sense of humor that this cemetery has is another reason why it's dubbed the happiest cemetery on earth. And we talk so much about how we absolutely love when an obituary is just fucking real, right? It tells it like it is and doesn't leave readers guessing about who that individual was or how they passed. Well, the same philosophy goes for the gravestones here. Each gravestone has a hand-carved drawing of the deceased and often an image of how they lived or how they died. I'll show you some examples.
Wait, what? Yeah. That sounds wild.
And we'll post some so you guys can see. But there's also With each tombstone, there's a hilarious epitaph carved into each tombstone to give more detail about the person lying underneath. So it's not just, here lies father, blah, 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 dates and stuff. Like, it gives you a detailed, funny ass poem about each person.
Okay, I love this.
I want to go through all of those because they're just so fucking funny. But I want to tell you a little bit about how this cemetery came to be. So there was a man named Stan Lone Patres. Stan was born in the small village of Sapatana in 1908, and he came from a long line of wood sculptors. And when he was 14, he started to carve crosses out of oak for the village's local cemetery. And then in his mid-20s, he started to carve actual tombstones made of oak. At first, he would just carve in the people's names, occupation and death, and birth year. But then he began carving his poetry into them, which are those funny, clever, ironic epitaphs. They were all done in the first person, as if like the person who is 6 feet under was like telling you about their life. And they also had a ton of grammatical errors. But an example of one of his poems on a man's tombstone says, Lone Tadero loved horses. One more thing he loved very much, to sit at a table in a bar next to someone else's wife.
Oh, shit.
This is on their this shit's scandalous. So Stan didn't just pull these comments out of thin air about the person. He would do deep research into the life and death of whoever he was carving a tombstone for.
So it's not like the families were giving him the ammo?
No, everybody in that village wants to be buried here.
Okay.
And I'll get into it later, but it's such a small town that there are no secrets and everybody's game for like, yep, this is what it is.
All right.
He then began to carve and paint pictures onto them, and then he soon developed his trademark paint colors that he used. So each color that he used held a different symbolism. So blue represented hope, freedom, and the sky, and that's kind of why all of the tombstones have a base color of that blue. Yellow meant fertility, red meant passion, green meant life, black meant death. But if a bird was painted black, it would mean that the death was tragic. And then if birds were painted white, it represented the person's soul.
Huh.
Okay.
Interesting.
In the 1970s, a French journalist came to visit the small town and discovered this incredible cemetery with these hilarious poems and paintings. And he was the one to really show it off to the world. So it really wasn't discovered until the 1970s.
Okay.
And now it's a huge tourist attraction and it's considered an open air museum. So Stan was known as the creator of this cemetery, and I read, and I can't remember where, but it's listed in the sources, but that the cemetery was like a scrapbook of all of the villagers' lives and death, and then Stan was kind of the narrator. In 1977, Stan passed away, but not before carving his own cross and poem to add to the already 800 crosses that he had done in his lifetime. And his tomb is big, blue, and beautiful with a picture of him painted on it. And the poem that he wrote for it isn't super scandalous. It's sweet, but it's real. It says, "Since I was a little boy, I was known as Stan. Listen to me, good people. There are no lies in what I am going to say. All along my life, I meant no harm to anyone, but did good as much as I could. To anyone who asked, oh, my poor world, because it was hard living in it." Before he passed, he also prepared an apprentice named Dumitru Pop to continue his work, even leaving Dumitru his home and his workshop.
Wow.
Dumitru, who I'm going to call Pop, because in every article, he's just known as Pop.
You just feel close to him?
I do. So Pop still carves the tombstone crosses. He also still only uses traditional tools to do so, including a hammer, chisel, and a planer. And an article on Vice.com interviewed Pop in 2020, and they talk about how a chainsaw would definitely make this man's job easier. However, it feels like it wouldn't be authentic to the way Stan did it. But the Vice interview actually visited Pop in his workshop, and there was a funeral going on that day, and the deceased was a young man. Pop carved his tombstone cross for him, and he said that the tombstone will, quote, reflect the boy's humor, gentle nature, but also the fact that his death was caused by alcohol. The same article describes the Mary Cemetery as, quote, not just a visual novelty, it symbolizes the unique and philosophical way grief is honored in Sapanta. Here in the extreme north of Romania, death and joy walk hand in hand, and funerals are decorated with color, poetry, and dancing. In another article from Atlas Obscura, Pop says, it's the real life of a person. If he likes to drink, you say that. If he likes to work, you say that. There's no hiding in a small town. The families actually want the true life of the person to be represented on the cross. And that's exactly what you get. You get real ass stories about who these people buried here are and what they went through in life and their shortcomings. But at the entrance to the cemetery, there's a bright blue cross with a big dark figure painted on it, almost like a Grim Reaper type figure. And it says, take a good look, Christian. I am stronger than you. I am the ugly death. I'll carry you away one by one.
Oh, shit.
Then we've got some examples. So, for instance, there's a tombstone for a truck driver, and his epitaph says, I used to work to be wealthy, and I had to leave behind everything. I wish people would stop and read this on my cross. Here's what happened. The truck rolled over, and the dirt smothered me. I died in Barcelona in 2002 when I was 42 years old. Another one is one of my favorites. It's for a mother-in-law, and the picture on it is like a mother-in-law waving her finger at a son-in-law. And it says, under this heavy cross lies my poor mother-in-law. 3 more days should she have lived, I would lie, and she would read this cross.
Oh, shit.
You who here are passing by, don't wake her up. Please try. Because if she comes back home, she'll criticize me more. But I will behave so well that she won't return from hell. Stay here, my dear mother-in-law.
Oh, my God.
Okay, there was one for the town drunk. The picture is of a grave with a black skeleton pulling the town drunk into the grave. And the town drunk is like holding
alcohol?
a bottle that says like poison on it. But his little epitaph says, here I rest. Stephen is my name. As long as I lived, I liked to drink. When my wife left me, I drank because I was sad. Then I drank more to make me happy. So it wasn't so bad that my wife left me, because I got to drink with my friends. I drank a lot, and now I'm still thirsty. So you who come to my resting place, leave a little wine here.
Oh, he said, I'm not done yet.
Okay, there was one for a widower, and it says, here is where I rest. And Pop Toter is my name. I used to love the clarinet and the brandy in my glass. As long as I lived on earth, I kept thinking of these things. To have something to drink and what to eat, and to play the clarinet. I was also miserable because I was a widower. But for you, I am singing merrily, not the way I am singing for myself. There was some that were not so funny, but they were, again, real. This is the tombstone. You can see there's
someone getting hit by a car.
There's someone getting hit by a car.
Is that how they died?
It's how they died, and it was actually a 3-year-old killed by a car.
Oh, my God.
And the epitaph says, burn in hell, you bloody taxi.
Shit.
That came from Cebu. Of all the places in this country, you had to stop right here. By my house, you hit me and sent me to the death below and left my parents full of woe. Then there's another one. This boy's drowning.
Sad.
And there's a whole thing about the boy drowning. Okay, then there's another one about beer. And there's a couple more about alcohol. One says, here I rest and do not mourn. I leave behind a girl unborn. As I look at my last bed, my heart is filled with joy, not dread. For I will not be forced to hear my wife for the 100th time curse beer. Then there's Pop Grigor. It says, Pop Grigor is my name. I loved my tractor the most and drowned my sorrows in the bottle. All my life I was miserable and sad because my father left me when I was just a child. Maybe this was my fate to die young.
Okay.
And then there's the last one is the talk of the town. Here I lie beneath this mound, the result of too much booze I found. While alive, I was as silent as a lamb. Now 6 feet under, I'm the talk of the land.
Shit. I like how much it feels like there's so much life in it. And I love the idea of so often you walk through a cemetery or a graveyard or a mausoleum. So often, as you always are.
Yeah.
We are.
We are.
And I mean, I know there's been so many times times that we've even walked through like our local cemeteries and there'll be a really cool tombstone, but you still have no idea who the person was. And I love just the idea of even just having some inkling of how they ended up in that grave or what they were like in life. Like, I feel like we should really make that more of a commonality.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And just the fun, cheerful colors, like, and they're all custom, and it just seems really cool. I wish we had something like that here. I would love to visit there one day.
I love it. Yeah, put that on our bucket list. Romania, we're coming.
Here we come.
Here we come. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I will tell you what had me spinning in my coffin, and I promise you this, it's nothing like we've ever done before.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
I put on my pop culture hat this week in my coffin.
Okay.
We have heard of choreomania, and this week we're talking about Swiftie mania.
Wait, choreomania is the dancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The dancing plague. And we're not talking about a Taylor Swift related plague, but we are talking about Taylor Swift today.
We've talked about her before.
It's safe to say that Taylor Swift has become one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful person in our country.
In the world.
Seriously. And her relationship with football tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce, has been insane coverage around that and brought in an estimated $331.5 million for the NFL in revenue.
Swiftonomics.
Just from her being there. Yeah, it's just wild to think about like the influence that certain people have. I mean, the power behind that alone is just insane.
Incredible.
And I remember when we were on tour, do you remember we were in Chicago and we were staying at an airport hotel because we had a show in Chicago that night and we had a show in Minneapolis the next night.
And we could not get a room anywhere.
We didn't know why. Then we're down in the lobby. We're dressed in our like stage clothes, like our costumes pretty much.
Which is like Western.
Yeah. And people were coming up to us like, I love your guys' Eras tour outfits. And we're like, oh, thank you. We were like, thank you so much.
All teenage girls.
And their moms. It was super cute.
It was cute.
But her Eras tour last year literally launched the buzzword Swiftonomics, which you mentioned earlier. And there were cities begging her to like come perform because of her impact on local economies. And I remember we talked about that. Obitchonomics.
Obitchonomics. I'm surprised that we had such a big show in Chicago because we were performing the same night.
Yeah, different venues, a little different of an audience, but same thing. Taylor wanted to be at our show.
She did.
But she was like, you know, I got my show.
Commitment.
I don't know if I'll be able to make it in time. So
absolutely.
Next time. But I mean, she's honestly untouchable. But I digress. This is Obituary. This is not e-news. So we are going to talk about why we're actually here today. And it is because on October 21st of 2022, Taylor released the official music video for Antihero from her album Midnights. And in this music video, there's a scene where she appears at her own funeral and she's inside of a casket. It's not a coffin, as is so often reported. It is a casket. And shortly after the release of that music video, a Taylor Swift fan account called @TSwiftStyle, I believe is the handle, posted a screenshot from the music video with a side-by-side photo next to a stock image of the casket that's featured in the video. And they wrote, if you're in the market for a casket, might I recommend the one by @TitanCasket?
Okay, I was wondering how you were going to tie this into Obituary.
It's $1,100 that Taylor Swift features in the Antihero music video. And I'm just like, what a time to be alive. Okay.
Or to be dead.
Here's the thing about Swifties. They're going to fucking find anything and everything. Like if there's a piece of dust in a music video, someone will be like, okay, that piece of dust is a lighter shade of gray. It's probably number 13 on the color wheel. And that means that the newest single is probably Dust. Like we love them for it.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I mean, we love an escape room.
We sure do.
We love an Easter egg, and I feel like Taylor Swift is just the queen of them. Anyway, the company that they tagged in that tweet, Titan Casket, is in fact the company who sold the casket to the production company that staged the video. And there is no way in hell that they were not going to use that for promotional purposes.
It's smart.
I would. Of course. Everything she touches turns to gold.
I know.
So they posted a tweet of their own. First of all, so Antihero's the song, for those of you who don't know, where it's like, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. And they posted a picture of the casket, and it said, hi, it's me, written above it.
That's good marketing.
I love
Clever.
it. Anyway, so they post that, and then they write, quote, we're surprised and delighted to see our Orion series in Taylor Swift's excellent Antihero music video. And they added, our mission is to help families save and educate that funeral homes are federally mandated to accept outside caskets per the funeral rule.
They absolutely are.
More awareness equals better outcomes. And according to the Titan Casket website, we are disrupting the funeral industry by making caskets easily accessible, customizable, and affordable for all. So this is actually a great casket company, and they are like on a mission to like spread awareness.
I love that because we've talked about things where people get screwed over planning a funeral.
Oh, because they like jack up the prices.
Or the like, you need this special seal or you need this special
like
fabric.
the vacuum sealed coffins.
Yeah.
Please. So they have a few little blurbs on their website that I wanted to read, and it says, we believe the funeral industry has been following the status quo for far too long. Titan Casket has the largest selection of caskets online with over 1,000 customizable options, plus all of our caskets come with free standard shipping and our Titan guarantee. We believe we should have the opportunity to honor our loved ones in a more unique way. We always will confirm the delivery date with you, and we won't sell any casket that won't arrive on time. And then lastly, it says funerals are not one size fits all. All U.S. funeral homes are legally required to accept any casket or funeral product you purchase online, and we will work with you and the funeral home should you run into any difficulties.
I love that.
They're very ethical. I love it. It does seem like they are on this mission to make the funerary industry better. Now, Slate Magazine actually spoke to Joshua Siegel, the COO of Titan Casket, for an article about the Taylor Swift music video. And so I wanted to read that interview. The article was written by Shannon Paulus, and it says, meet the guy who sold a casket to Taylor Swift. You see the pop star peeking out of a box. He sees a chance to talk funeral industry reform.
I love it.
Quote, I get a lot of emails from people, this is from the author, hoping I will cover their doodads, and mostly I just delete them so I can see the important things in my inbox. But the subject line, Taylor Swift used my casket in her funeral-themed music video, made me click. I've watched the music video in question for her new song Antihero several times and listened to the song many more. The video is not exactly funeral themed, it's about pop stardom as well as the more relatable issue of feeling weird and monstrous when everyone around you seems happy and cute. But a casket does play a key role. In a scene partway through, the music pauses and Swift's imaginary children fight over her will, in which she has left them a mere 13 cents.
Oh, shit.
Swift watches the dream scene take place from inside of her own casket. And yeah, there's like lyrics in it that are like, I have a dream. My daughter-in-law kills me for the money. She thinks I left them in the will. Like it's a good one. As with anything in Swift's orbit, she writes, the casket is now ripe for attention itself and has been cataloged on an Instagram grid that sources Swift's makeup and clothing items so that fans own a simulacrum of something that she's touched. It was made by a company called Titan Casket, and the co-founder Joshua Siegel is eager to talk up his product's cameo as well as the broader casket context. There's some more blurbs about the company, but then they go into the actual interview. They asked Joshua, how did you realize that it was your casket in the music video? And he said, we were just coming off of a very big week already because we had presented in front of the Federal Trade Commission the day before, which was a milestone for the company. Then we woke up on Friday and one of our employees, who's up very early because we're there for customers around the clock, she was watching the new video and she saw that it looked like one of our caskets. She sent it out to the company and we all said that it looks like our Orion copper. And
Give that employee a raise.
Yeah, seriously. And my co-founder and wife, Liz, knew we had sold one to a production company in July. She reached out to the production company who confirmed that it was, and there was lots of excitement.
Do we know what color it was?
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of it and we'll post it. They asked next, looking at your website, it looks like a casket will run you a little over $1,000. That's less than the median price of a casket, but it's still a lot. What's so expensive about making a casket? And these are things that we've kind of covered on the show before, like the steel, labor, transportation of the casket are the main items. And something that size, there's not a lot of margin in the product that we sell because you both are shipping also the items I mentioned to a manufacturing plant and then shipping that casket to a funeral home. There's a lot that goes into these. You've been corresponding with Taylor Swift's fans about the casket on Instagram. What's that been like? And he said fans are either saying nice things or making casket puns, both of which I'm happy to engage with because you have to have a sense of humor in this space. Somebody asked for a discount code, so we created a Swiftie discount code for $50.13.
Oh my God. I love that. When two worlds collide that you just never would have thought.
I know. And then they asked, like, do you get production companies buying caskets from you often? And he says, we do. Part of the funeral space is that there aren't brands. And so when production companies or producers need caskets for props or for shoots that they're doing, they search online. And if you do that, you often find us because there's just not that many manufacturers. We have a growing roster of these that we've built relationships with. The Interview with the Vampire series that just came out on AMC had us build a custom one for their series.
Ooh, I bet they did a cool. Because while I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, Titan, I like you.
Yeah.
But you know that I want a coffin.
Yes.
I don't want a casket.
I bet they can probably do it all.
Okay.
They ask him, if I'm planning a funeral for someone and I order a casket from you, do I have to make sure to be home on the day of delivery, or how does that work? Another thing you don't really
leave
think
it on
about.
your porch.
Yeah. And he said, so 9 out of 10 customers have us deliver to the funeral home.
Oh.
And because of the Federal Trade Commission's funeral rule, the funeral has to accept the casket. They cannot charge a fee. They cannot burden the customer or make them be there. And so that's why we're able to sell for half the price of the ones that you would find at a funeral home.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting. I feel like there was a lot of little tidbits in that, none of which I would have learned if I hadn't looked into the Taylor Swift music video casket.
She's so cool. I love it. Oh, I love that.
Well, and she directed the video herself. And so I think it's, she clearly had a hand in all of that. And I don't know. It's cool. It's like a funny, very campy scene in the music video.
Okay.
I'll show you it in its entirety after this. I don't think we can play it though because Taylor Swift's a big fucking deal and we will probably get sued.
Yeah.
Sued into the ground. That's one person. Her and Disney are two people you don't fuck with. I feel like
6 feet under.
Oh
God.
But yeah, so that's the truth. I'm sticking to it, and that's how I managed to do a coffin spinner around Taylor Swift.
Well, I love it. I think that is just creative.
Well, there's the oswiftuary. It's time for some obituaries.
Ooh, okay. Well, I have a good one that was actually sent to us by a listener. They said, hey, Spencer, Madison, and most importantly, pups. This came across my feed today and I immediately thought of you guys. It's long, but it's Hollywood movie level. It has crime, it has drama, and it's beautifully written. Thank you for the hours of entertainment, and I can't wait to read your book that I pre-ordered immediately. Your Geoff, Rika.
Oh, where'd you pre-order it? prh.com/obituary?
I'm sure they did.
Thank you.
I had to go on over to Facebook. I had to click the link and Facebook let me because I don't have a Facebook. But it let me see it, okay? And it was a post from a woman named Megan McGovern, and the post said, my mother died 4 years ago. This was the very raw, probably way too honest obituary I wrote with my sister at the time. I don't miss the chaos, even a little bit. It's been very peaceful. The interesting thing is that less than a year after this, 2 of my siblings turned up. Tim and David. And yes, I've told them the story of their mother, for better or worse. This is the basis for the book I'm editing, now that I have a little perspective. Anyone know a literary agent looking for a good memoir? And for what it's worth, we went with Forever Wild on her headstone. It's the motto of the Adirondacks and seems to fit. The obituary says, Maureen McGovern died August 13th, 2017. Maureen Alice Smith was born July 2nd, 1938 in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, the eldest child of Bernard Smith and Ava Golemsky, who doted on her. She and her 3 younger siblings were raised on Staten Island. Her parents were from the Adirondacks in upstate New York.
I love the Adirondacks.
And she spent summers picking wild blueberries and taking baths in a big iron tub in her grandmother's living room. She was raised on Staten Island, attended St. Mary's of the Assumption and St. Peter's Girls High School, and her family went to Sacred Heart Church. When she was in high school, she had the first baby that she gave up for adoption after being sent away to a home for unwed mothers run by nuns. Her first son was named Christopher. Maureen went to Hunter College and Wagner and a college in San Francisco. She did not graduate from any of them. She was, according to her friends, stunningly beautiful, brilliant, witty, and the kind of friend you keep for life. She counted Barbara Taylor, Paul Zindel, and Vincent Romeo among her best friends. She was a writer for Women's Wear Daily and worked with Clementine Paddleford at the New York Herald Tribune. She interviewed celebrities ranging from John Gielgud and Rex Harrison to the Beatles, and took her younger sister Nora to a press conference and a Beatles concert at Shea Stadium on August 15, 1965. She had an apartment at 2 Jane Street in Greenwich Village and had parties that people still tell stories about. One alleges that the captain of a Navy ship turned up to look for members of his crew after they'd been missing for 2 days and found one of them behind the sofa, asleep. As with most of Maureen's stories, there's no way of knowing how far the truth was stretched. She also had 2 more babies, a daughter she named Anne Margaret and a son named David, both given up for adoption. One had a father, who Maureen said was nicknamed Mr. Impossible, and the other was a man she met on a beach the day Marilyn Monroe died. Years later, she wanted to connect with the children she gave up, but the records were sealed. At some point in the late 1960s, Maureen Smith met Donald McGovern at either the Lion's Head or the 55 on Christopher Street. Don was married with a small son, but from that point on, Maureen and Don were linked and many lives were changed. Maureen and Don ran a bar together in the East Village called the Corner Bistro. It was owned by the mafia, and Maureen and Don helped run a credit card fraud scheme on diners there. Don was not a good fit for the mafia, and in 1968, after he was stabbed in the kidneys, the couple drove to California, leaving behind Don's wife and son and their families. Fuck. Don and Maureen had 4 girls in 6 years, finally marrying in 1975, when the youngest was 6 weeks old. They settled into a normal life for about 10 years and had a farm in the California desert near Little Rock, while Dawn worked for KTTV and pursued an acting career. When her girls were little, Maureen was a loving, involved mother and baked cookies, taught her daughters to cook, took them to museums and parks and on road trips, sang songs in the car, and told stories about the olden days in the Adirondacks. She sang Christmas carols and sang along to Willie Nelson and Marvin Gaye. When Dawn left her in 1980, Maureen packed up the girls and went into a whirlwind of chaos that never really stopped until her death. She seemed to give up all pretense at law-abiding and normal, and from that point on, did as she pleased. She moved to Lake Luzerne, New York for 3 months before burning down the house for the insurance check. Then Houston, followed by 4 or 5 houses in the suburbs of Los Angeles. Then Medford and Jacksonville, Oregon, back to California, and back to New York. All 4 of her girls were along for the ride. Along the way, she took in children who had no place to go, fed countless teenagers, offered her home to anyone who needed a place to stay, championed liberal causes and ideas, read voraciously, and made certain that no one she knew would ever vote for a Republican. Her girls knew they had always had the coolest mom and the coolest house in the neighborhood, and that if anyone was hungry or bored, their house was the place to be. There was a brief period of 2 years from 1984 to 1986 where Maureen had some money and some peace after she won $58,000 as a champion on a game show called Sale of the Century. It was a game of trivia and knowledge, and this was her forte. She went on to become a grand champion and competed in Australia, where she swindled the other competitors out of their wallets and ran from the police for 6 weeks with 2 of her children in tow. Between 1980 and 2010, Maureen was arrested in London, Paris, Vermont, Texas, South Carolina, Kentucky, New Hampshire, Florida, California, and New York. She talked her way out of most jail time, but did serve time in both federal and local prisons, where she painted pictures of flowers, sent letters to her children, complained about the food and the guards, and showed no remorse. In fact, she considered that stealing from insurance companies and defrauding people and writing bad checks was really a victimless crime. It's just money, she'd say. It's not like I'm hurting anyone.
Sure.
She wrecked cars for the insurance money, stole things out of purses, ran a credit card scheme involving houses for sale, had an episode filmed about her for America's Most Wanted that was never aired, went in and out of mental hospitals, and finally found a few years of peace when she remarried Don in 2004. He'd had a Russian mail-order bride then, and Maureen had to throw the live-in girlfriend out of the house, but she and Don managed to have a few years together in a cabin in Conway, Arkansas, writing bad checks, watching TV, and growing tomatoes. When Dawn died in 2014, Maureen was again untethered and unmoored. She spent the last 3 years of her life running, from Arkansas to San Diego and back, and finally, on August 13th, 2017, has found some sort of peace, according to the priest who performed last rites. Here's hoping. Maureen will be remembered for her sharp, biting wit, a love of good food, good writing, and great conversation, a comprehensive knowledge of British mystery novels, a stunning ability to cook great meals with no money and no ingredients, a flair for witty comebacks, a love for her children that she was unable to translate into protection or a home for them, an absolutely unmatched ability to manipulate any system, a mean streak that could cut to the bone, a penchant for nerve pills, and with a deep sadness that is brilliant, vibrant woman was never unable to rise above the demons that controlled her. Maureen said that her philosophy of life is a little to the left of woohoo. Her theme song is I Can't Get No Satisfaction, and that she wants the words she wept on her headstone with a weeping willow. At the end, 2 of her daughters were by her bedside, and she was not alone when she passed. Jesus Christ. She lived an insane
She lived a lot of lives.
life. All the comments, the first comment says, now that's an obituary.
Oh, yeah. And there's a reason it was posted on Facebook and not in a paper, because that would have cost a fortune.
That would have cost a fortune, I know.
Oh, God. She found peace, lost it, and found peace again. You know what? Good for her.
I think she would have done well being buried in Romania.
Yes. That would be a hard one to illustrate.
Yeah.
God.
Who do you got?
I got Pat Bennett,
Okay.
71, of Brookville, who passed away on December 4th of 2011 at her residence. She was a member of the Brookville Firemen's Club and the Fraternal Order of the Eagles number 983. She survived by her 3 sons, Richard of Four Oaks, North Carolina, Scott of Brookville, Mike of Middle River, Maryland, and 1 daughter, Kim of Brookville. The viewing was held on Tuesday, December 6th, 2011 from 2 to 7 p.m. and the funeral services were at 1 p.m. at the McKinney Funeral Home in Brookville. That is from the Jeffersonian Democrat.
What are you not telling me?
Well, this newspaper, the Jeffersonian, got the shock of a lifetime when Pat Bennett herself showed up, very alive, and said, "What the hell is going on here?" It turns out that her son, 45-year-old Scott Bennett, who's mentioned in the obituary, submitted the obituary, paid for it, in order to get paid time off from his job at a local factory. He did, little fucker. I have an article from ABC News that says, authorities say a 45-year-old Brookville, Pennsylvania man took booking off work to a new level by submitting a fake obituary for his living mother to a local newspaper. How stupid do you have to be to submit it to the local paper? People are going to see that. So, and that's exactly what happened. I guess family members started seeing this and they were like, oh my God, like she died? What happened? And they started reaching out. And then she's like, excuse me?
I'm
like,
not dead.
Not dead. He ended up getting fired from his job and was charged with disorderly conduct, according to the police chief, Ken Dworick. Relatives had called the Jeffersonian Democrat newspaper in Brookville after the obit appeared to report Bennett's mother was alive and well, and then the woman herself visited the news office, according to the Associated Press. One of the reasons we didn't file more serious charges was he has enough problems as it is, Dworick says. He's very remorseful and upset. And he also added that the man's mother was rather upset with it all, although the police did not record a statement from her. In 46 years of police work, this is the first time I've ever heard of this happening, Torek said. You think you've heard it all. The editor for the paper, Randy Bartley, says he accepted the obituary in good faith after being unable to confirm the funeral arrangements at press time.
I want to know what he needed time off for.
He just needed a break.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that shows the company. It's like, I gotta write this obituary to even get time off.
What does that say about you?
Dumbass criminal, kind of.
I know. And speaking of, we have bitched our obituaries.
Oh, we have spun in our coffins.
I did it wrong.
Yeah, it's okay.
Anyways, it's time for some dumb
ass
criminals. Who you got?
All right, we're going to the other side of the world for my dumb criminal. We are going to Australia.
Like we're going to San Francisco.
Ooh, we're going to Hawaii. No, we are going to Australia. And we're going to Australia a little later, too.
Okay.
To watch our Patreon. This crime took place in 2016, and I got a lot of the information from an article on independent.co.uk, and I was looking at who reported on this, and the real name of the reporter for The Independent is named Harry Cockburn.
Love it.
I think his parents are criminals for naming him that with the last name Cockburn. Anyway, back to our criminal. So this woman decides to get a tattoo, goes to the tattoo artist, explains to the tattoo artist that she wants a yin-yang symbol. The tattooer begins drawing up some sketches and they agree on one. She then sits down, gets her tattoo, which is on her back, and then goes home. She doesn't look at it while she's at this person's shop.
That's strange. That's a red flag.
Well, it's on her back. I don't know. Well, when she gets home, she takes a peek at it, and it's not a yin-yang symbol. It's instead a big penis with the word fuck next to it.
God damn it.
I could not even fucking imagine, but she ends up taking this tattooer to court.
Yeah, she should.
When the judge asks him why he would do that, he just said, just because. He was then sentenced to 3.5 years in an institution for mentally abnormal offenders. And he was only released from prison just a few months prior to the penis tattoo. And he also had other charges for fighting and burglary, but he is not only dumb, he's just a fucking little menace.
A little menace to society. Well, I've got a menace as well from Florida.
Oh.
Her name is Bertha Yalter, 71 years old.
I love the name Bertha.
This Bertha's fucking wild, man. So it says, this is from NBC 6, South Florida. A North Miami Beach woman is facing serious charges after she was accused of trying to kill her husband. But I'm not going to tell you why yet.
I was going to say, well, what did he do?
Yeah, what? Well, according to the report, shortly before 4 p.m., this is from this past Sunday, North Miami Beach police responded to a home at the 3500 block of Northwest 169th Street after reports that a domestic dispute had turned physical. When they arrived, they found Bertha Yalter, 71, and her husband had been involved in a dispute after his ex-girlfriend.
Wait, she's 71?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
After his ex-girlfriend from 60 years ago sent him a postcard.
No, that bitch.
They'd been married. Her and her husband have been married for 52 years.
Stop.
And I guess he just got like a friendly, like, hope you're well postcard from his ex-girlfriend. She fucking loses it. Bit him all over his body.
No.
Uh-huh. Bit him so hard that it was bleeding, had cut his arm, stomach area, and then tried to suffocate him with a pillow.
Oh my God. And how old is he?
I mean...
Probably in his 70s if he's been married 52 years.
Probably older because she was the girlfriend's from 60 years ago. So she was 11 when he was with that girlfriend. So who fucking knows?
Yeah, so he's probably 80.
But I guess they caught the whole thing on video, which is
Stop it.
probably so wild.
How?
I haven't seen the video. He filmed it, I think, on the phone. She was arrested and she was transported to the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center as facing charges of attempted murder and the second-degree aggravated battery on a person 65 years or older tampering with the victim. And this is her. She means business.
Oh, she
That's a rough 71.
rode hard, put away wet.
Yep.
That is that's a hard 71. Damn. She bit him all over?
Yeah.
Wait,
Over
what?
a postcard from...
What teeth, honey?
Oh,
dentures.
shit. Well, yeah, I guess so.
I guess so. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Put her in an ad for that Dentabond or whatever.
I know.
Oh, shit. But yeah, that's all I got. That's the news. That's your news report.
That is your news report. God, we started off with a news report, ended with a news report.
And we're signing off for the evening, but we'll be back next week with some more coffin spinners.
And obituaries.
And dumb
Ass
criminals. Goodbye.
Goodbye.